What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host that would like for you to make some noise or holla for Assassin's Creed Valhalla because it's a really good game. Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. And I don't know about you, but I'm really starting to notice my Viking genetics. Because right now I've got a decent sized beard. Not my little dude though, he doesn't have a beard, as you can see. But maybe I'll have a bearded one done. I look like freaking Kratos or something. Because that's how badass I look. I wish. Alright, my Dranger. This story's called Entitled Sister Steals Cats and Nearly Kills Actual Sister. Okay, this story is sorta complicated, so I'll try to make it as clear as possible. First off, I have no frickin' idea what this woman was even thinking, but apparently that's par the Karen course. Cast: Petunia, Entitled's mother/half-sister on dad's side. Lily, older half-sister from mom's first marriage and the only sister whom I was raised with. Parents. Me, the avocado. Okay. To start this story, you need some background. My father had a best friend whom he had known for years. Friend is sterile, asks dad for donation. Dad agrees under the circumstance that he not be involved because he was already with my mom and had the above-mentioned sister. Friend agrees, donation happens. Petunia is born and friend dies when she is 4 months. Oh my god. Okay. Just glossed over. Petunia's mother remarries very rich man and all is well in the world. Fast forward 16 years and Petunia finds dad on the Book of Faces and demands to see him. He's careful, tries to get a hold of her mother. No dice, but tells her if she wants to meet, then her mother must approve it and sets up a place to meet. Well, Petunia shows up with a bunch of bags and dad watches a car drive off. Petunia has lied and her parents have dumped her on us for the summer. She spends the entire summer making mother, dad, me, and sister miserable because we can't afford the things she's used to. Any attempt to call mother is ignored because they're on vacation in Europe. Dad doesn't want to call the police because he feels bad for Petunia. Petunia leaves and we think she'll stay away. Nope! She shows up 3 years later with a baby and tries to get Lily to babysit because you're the eldest, you're old enough to have kids on your own, so this will be like practice for you. Lily declines. She doesn't actually like children and says something along the lines of, the only babies I will ever care for is them, meaning her cats. Petunia refuses to accept this and keeps hounding us all to babysit because family. Lily flat out tells her, you're not my family. You're just my stepfather's daughter. You can't pull that card on me. I said no and I mean it. We think that's the end of it because by now, no one is wanting to babysit, which leads to angry rants on the Book of Faces about how we're ruining her life and keeping her from enjoying her youth because we're so selfish. Again, this is ignored, but not for long. 2 days ago, Petunia showed up at the house claiming she wanted to talk to dad. He was busy and no one else was home, so he told her to wait in the living room because he would only be gone a few minutes. Apparently, this was long enough for Petunia to grab my sister's cats and leave. Dad said he came back and was shocked she was gone, but shrugged it off. Mom and sis came home an hour later, and when Dad mentioned the visit, they all thought it was weird. An hour later, I have come home and my sister is frantically looking for her cats. I assumed they got out when Petunia came over. She let them out. And we're looking around the trees and calling for the furballs. Sister is having a full-on panic attack, and Dad ends up calling an ambulance because she passed out. Sister has bad anxiety. Sister ends up in the hospital. Mom stays with her, and Dad keeps looking for the cats. I'm keeping in contact with Mom via text, and she lets me know Sister is being admitted for observation. Dad and I are frantic because we know if we don't find the cats, or worse, find them dead, Sister doctor may go downhill. We were lucky though, as not too long after we had just about given up hope, we get a call from my older brother. Turns out, Petunia had taken the cats to the Humane Society, the same one he worked at, and was claiming the cats needed to be put down immediately. He didn't see Petunia turn them in because he was in the back, but he recognized the fuzzballs and was able to get Dad to come down and claim ownership of the cats. Now Dad is working on filing a lawsuit and a police case for stolen property, and the harm this did to my sister. The icing on the cake was when Dad texted Petunia to ask why she did it, and her claim was, "Because now Lily can babysit without worrying about those horrible creatures." See? Yikes. Okay, wait. How did she actually almost kill actual sister? Whatever the title said. Does it mean like, oh, it's killing me that I don't have my cats? Like that? I mean, I'm just asking for clarification because I'm a stupid boy. Anyway, Lily's messed up. Or not Lily. What's her name? Petunia's messed up. Aunt Petunia from, Harry Potter was also messed up, if I recall correctly, which I probably don't, but hey, references. Alright, this story's called Update! Entitled Sister Steals Cats and Nearly Kills Actual Sister. Okay, I will be updating as more happens, but seeing as so many were asking for an update, I figured I've left you all in limbo long enough to have something worth posting. 1. Sister is back home. Yay! The doctors had to run a crap load of tests, including stress tests, blood tests, and ECGs, etc., and told my parents that the stress caused something called broken heart syndrome. Yeah. Which my sister is on medication for now and while in the hospital, and will be monitored every so often to make sure it doesn't happen again. Dad asked if this could have killed her, and the doctor basically said it was very close to a heart attack, which is scary in and of itself. There's the answer. 2. Petunia has been arrested! Dad filed a report stating everything that she had done. And while this is super satisfying, it gets better! They put a warrant out for her arrest because of the theft, but also because she was apparently on probation for a DUI. And guess what, people? She had a ticket to Italy in her bag, leading the officers to safely assume she was trying to flee the country, also against her probation. Not only that, but my brother was able to go back to the Humane Society and get the login sheet for the day she turned in the cats. She signed my sister's name! So now we're looking at a possible case of fraud, assuming not actually proven yet. 3. A restraining order has been put into the works, with every member of my immediate family being placed on it so that she cannot contact any of us in the future. 4. Her mother and stepfather are threatening to sue us for harassment, since apparently it's our fault she's now held in custody. Sarcasm. That wasn't used properly. 5. All forms of social media that me and or my siblings or parents use has been locked down or downright deleted because we don't actually trust her or her parents not to try and sneak in using fake accounts. I'll give more details as they come up. Thank you for your time. Bows. That's the sound effect of someone bowing. Don't ask me how I got it. It's spot on, and you probably guessed what I was going for as I was doing it. I don't know how I do the things I do. I blow my own mind. But anyway, hope Lily feels better. Hope Petunia gets better, freaking mentally and just like morally and ethically. You get what I'm saying. And I gotta watch some more Elder Scrolls lore videos. Guys, Camelworks, Avardi, Epic Nate, and Fudge Muppets. Fudge Muppet or Fudge Muppets? I don't know. I watch their channels way too often, man. And I'm not complaining. Good content if you like the Elder Scrolls, which everyone probably does. Ever. Alright, this story's called Entitled Student Gets Upset When She Doesn't Get First Place in the Online Jeopardy game in Class. This just happened today and it pisses me off. So, one of my online university classes was using an online app to do a fun Jeopardy jeopardy-like quiz to test our knowledge before our upcoming test. The professor told us that he thought it would be a fun way for us to match up against each other in groups of 5 or 4. We had an uneven number of classmates. It was supposed to be tournament style, where the winner of each section would move up to join the one-up with 4 or 5 other winners of sets with equal ranking, and it continued until there were 5 of us left. The system was based on being able to press on the button first and answer the question within 30 seconds by selecting the correct answer out of the choices, and each choice was worth a certain number of points. If we were correct, then we'd get the number of points for that question, and if we got it wrong, then we'd lose that number of points. At the end of the round, the one with the most points would move on. We had to turn our cameras on, of course, to prove we weren't cheating. Of course, some of us had some crazy bedhead. Moving on, so I ended up being in the finals. Not to brag, but the subject was something I'm pursuing, so I knew a lot of stuff inside out. I wasn't the only one, of course, so it was quite the rush. When done, we waited for the results to be determined and see who the winner was and how we ranked overall. There was this one girl, let's call her Lee, was openly bragging about her skills and knowledge, how she spent all her free time studying and she would come out on top of the class and yada yada yada. Another student told her to be quiet, and thankfully she huffed and shut up. Professor came back, he shared his screen and the winners, as well as everyone's overall ranking. I was pretty happy to see I got second place. Yeah, I didn't get first, but I had gotten into the top 5, and that I was fine with. I even congratulated the winner, who I'll call Barry. Barry's a pretty chill dude in class, and I even worked with him on another assignment in another class. We were even friends. Of course, that was all in person. Harder to remain in contact when you're in different cities too. And that's when Lee started freaking out. Apparently, she couldn't handle getting third place. The professor tried to calm her down, but Lee started screaming at him that the results were skewed, that she was the best, blah blah blah. It was annoying. Another student tried to cut in and tell her to shut up, but the girl went berserk. She started claiming that Barry and I had cheated. Newsflash, we hadn't, and that we should be disqualified, etc. It was crazy. She then jumped out of her chair and started freaking throwing stuff in her room. She lost her crap, screaming and shouting, and then her feed cut out. The professor had kicked her out of class. He said that Lee was disqualified and that the person in 4th place was now in 3rd. He then said that if anyone had an issue with their standing, they were free to leave the session, with the penalty of losing participation points, of course. Needless to say, the rest of class went well. No one else threw a fuss over their standing, and the craziest thing? The only prizes the top 5 players got were gift cards to the university bookstore, the lowest being a $10 one for 5th place, and the highest being $30 for 1st place. Lee was literally freaking out over getting a $20 gift card instead of a $30 one, or that she didn't get 1st place. Either way, she was a real entitled brat about it. Hey man, I understand where Lee's coming from. Like, if there's a winning position, I want it, and I will not stop until I get it. I don't care how many judges' faces need to be bashed in, how many contestants' fingers need to be chopped off, how many cows need to be made into Shipley's bold collages. Yeah, I don't care. I will win. Lee, you're number 1 to me. Alright, this story's called Kelly Stories. Funerals aren't fun. Mom, let me start this one with a disclaimer. Funerals are truly sad. I've had a lot of fudge to deal with, incorrect use of fudge, and have gotten through everything. This chapter will talk about our mom's funeral. Brother, dad, and grandma will be in upcoming posts. Kelly finds a way of making herself the most in any situation. She is the most sad about X's passing. She was X's favorite person and they loved her most. Everyone look at Kelly. How will she handle life without X? You get it. Our mom was diagnosed with cancer in the spring and had passed in early December. Kelly and I were in our early to mid-20s. Our dad was devastated. Our Our grandma was lost. My mom was her youngest. I had a newborn. Kyle and his wife also had a newborn. The day Mom passed, Dad, Grandma, and Kelly were home. Mom had my dad ask Kelly to take Grandma out to eat and a ride just to get them out of the house. When they were gone, she asked Dad to call me to come over. I made it about 5 minutes after she was gone. My uncle, Dad's brother, came over to console Dad. Dad had been instructed that when Mom was gone to call the home hospice duty nurse, and as soon as my uncle arrived, he did. I don't know what they said to each other, but soon Dad said they needed to speak to me. I was told that my mom had told them that I would be the only one to handle everything, to come with a level head. I call all the extended family, let the funeral home know that Mom had passed, and arrange for pickup, and much to my chagrin, positioned my mom so that the funeral home could move her easily. That was difficult. Now for Kelly. When she gets back home, she was told why she needed to leave the house. Mom didn't want an audience for her death. Kelly knows what has happened and literally throws herself on the porch and starts screaming. Grandma told her to get her ass up and get in the house. Even in her grief, Grandma wasn't taking Kelly's crap. So Kelly walks in the front door and again throws herself on the floor, crying and carrying on. I do believe she was upset, devastated even, but her outburst just left everyone feeling salty. The following day at the funeral home, Kelly didn't like anyone's choices about anything. Mom didn't have life insurance, and Dad was paying for everything himself. Kelly didn't like the casket, and even after it was draped in a beautiful floral arrangement that would have made a cardboard box lovely, she didn't like the remembrance handouts, the flowers, the music. Dance music was never going to be an option, Kelly! The day of the funeral, there was a short visitation before the service. Closed casket at Mom's request with pictures of Mom everywhere. Kelly complained that she should have more pictures than anyone because she was the favorite after all. No one paid any attention. During the visitation, every time someone approached me or my brother to offer their condolences, Kelly would burst out of nowhere and intercept them and cry on their shoulder, even if she didn't know who they were, like our bosses. During the service, she wailed and carried on the loudest, best mourner ever award. The aftermath, Kelly wrote not one single thank you note. When she found out that family and friends had left donations, she wanted her share. Kelly, heart so smelly, frickin' wants someone to rub her belly because she's a B-word. Alright, this story's called Entitled Ass. You don't even live here! I live in an 8-unit apartment building with a carport in the back, 2 spots per unit. The driveway to access parking is, let's say, 50 feet long and single vehicle wide. The general rule is, whoever enters the driveway first wins, and the other vehicle backs up to let first car either park or leave. Simple, easy peasy, and never an issue, as the driveway is a straight shot and you can see from either end if another vehicle is approaching. I come home the other day, am 40 feet down the driveway, and a non-resident pulls out from the parking area, can see me, continues to fully pull into the driveway, and blocks me from the parking area. Entitled Ass then motions for me to back up. No dude. I return the gesture for him to back up. He again gestures for me to back up like he's in a hurry. Dude, I am not backing up 40 feet when you can and should back up 5 feet. Entitled Ass won't move, just keeps gesturing for me to back up. F it! I put my car in park, put my elbow on the window ledge, and rest my head on my hand. Entitled Ass got it, then backed up, then gave me a glare as I drove past. You don't even live here and have no business parking in resident-only parking. I just laughed. That sounds like hell, and a recipe for rotten eggs in your car in the morning when you go to check it out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.